Today is another special episode where you can follow along on a screen share. Fix Marketer now has a YouTube channel, and this episode is going to have a lot of screen share, but I'll try to describe everything for those podcast listeners as well so you can get the gist of what I'm doing. So essentially in marketing, everything all starts with how people find your business. That can be on Facebook, and Facebook essentially is a search engine in a way. Either they're hanging out with their friends and you get in front of them and interrupt them, or they actually start searching for a business there. Same with Yelp, same with Google. And I prefer Google because Google is where most people have an intent. They search that exact thing, then they're hoping for that exact answer. And especially for local small businesses, Google is a very strong starting point for so many things. So in this case, we are searching carpet cleaning in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And what we get at the very top is we get some Google ads. Then, surprisingly enough, there are no Google paid leads essentially at the top where it's home services or service lead ads. But I imagine that's going to come to carpet cleaning soon enough in this Eau Claire area. And then you get the maps listing, right, which is heavily biased to where you are located, how far your address is away from somebody, right? And then under that we get what are traditionally called the organic search results, and of course the first result is almost always eaten up by some big website like Yelp because they claim to have 10 best carpet cleaners in Eau Claire, right? And then of course there's other sites like Angie's List, and sometimes you get a couple of websites mixed in there that are individual websites, right? But I cannot imagine any site getting above the Yelp because Yelp has those 10 options, and if you're an individual company, that's just not going to happen. So let's not focus on Google Ads right now. That's a different episode. So let's pretend that somebody skipped past those and they're just looking in maps. And of course there's 3 results, and sometimes there's an ad that shows up there. I'm going to click more businesses, and often there's an ad up there as well. Not in this case, but just so you know, I'm also searching on Google Chrome browser in incognito mode, so I have less bias because obviously I've done some searching in this area before. And if it was so easy to just rank based on your reviews and maps, then whoever had the most reviews would always show at the top, right? But sometimes, like this Mog Cleaning Inc. has 44 reviews, but it's not second. It's not second on the list, right? So there's definitely more to why somebody shows, like I said, heavy bias for locality, but also there's bias based on, are they actually doing some search engine optimization? So I want to dive into websites. We're going to click through and view a couple of these sites, and we're going to hopefully blow your mind with a couple of things here. So for instance, I've created a website conversion rate checklist. And what conversion rate is essentially trying to convince the people that visit your website to take action. And you can take that same mentality, or I did, anything you're doing in marketing. Okay, if I'm on Facebook and I'm showing an ad, what's my conversion rate from somebody viewing it to taking action, right? So it doesn't just apply to websites. So we're going to go down this list a little bit. It's an extensive list. I've also included some really model great websites that you can say, okay, are there actually any sites that incorporate everything that's on this list? And then of course there's always the fixed marketing framework, the 1-page marketing plan for your digital marketing. It's 7 steps. And I just want to remind you that it is important to think about how are you getting reviews, and potentially how are you showing those off on your website. Same with buying leads or Google ads. That's why we always go back to the search results. Your website could show up in multiple places in that real estate, and you're going to want to do it. Another thing to note is there's a great tool. I like to highlight tools every so often. It's called Local Falcon. And right here from this image, you can see essentially that bias that I'm talking about based on your locality and based on how much Google trusts your location and how good you are at your business. Right, and that manifests itself into lots of different things, like how many links do you have to your website? Do you actually have a page for every single service that you offer? Is that page location specific? So if I've got an address in North Eau Claire, and maybe that's got some sort of suburb or whatever, or there's a city north or to the right. Obviously, I have not been to Eau Claire, but if I have multiple locations, how are they doing? And based on this tool, you can plug in your address. It's completely free to try. Obviously, if you want to have it run multiple times for you, have multiple locations, then that's when it starts costing you money. But it will show you like, hey, am I actually showing up first in those 3 results in the map? Or am I showing up last sometimes? And how far away from city center or from where my address, like how am I doing, right? And so obviously if you start doing some more search engine marketing, you can run this tool multiple times and say, oh, am I starting to show up more throughout that town? And in general, I just want you to know, like, your website is not going to show up for the towns next door to it unless you're really either the one and only option or you're the best option in the world and those towns are super close. It's just not going to happen in Maps. Maps is heavily biased by that address, right? And so having multiple locations can be a strategy only if you're willing to do the 7 frameworks. So have a review strategy, do Google Ads, all that for each location. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Just double down on that one location that you do have and do the best you can. And for all the cities that you are nearby that you want to show up for, you're going back to this search result. Essentially in Google, you're basically saying, I'm going to show up in Google Ads, and that's where I'm leaving it to, right? So going back out of this Maps, this is the only place you can show up if you don't have a city nearby and a good marketing strategy. And or maybe you can have an ad here, and then if those paid lead ads come back up at the top for Eau Claire eventually, then that would be a place that you can show. And then if you don't have a local address, it's probably not even worth trying to go down here. You could spend years doing search engine optimization just to try to show up underneath Yelp when most people are going to be clicking these top few results anyways, right? So going back here, we're in the Maps again, and we found some sites. So the Steamatic of Western Wisconsin, for instance, okay? So we're going to visit that site. I think I already had it up here. And so this is what the site looks like. Essentially, it feels and looks like some sort of corporate franchise business that's in multiple locations, and this one just happens to be, mentioning carpet cleaning in Eau Claire. Okay, it's in my opinion, it's very sterile. It looks nice. A lot of people think that looking nice translates into revenue, right? But I want to show you some calculators that I created recently to help you understand that looking nice doesn't translate into revenue per se. So when we're looking at these calculators, most companies don't understand what that conversion rate is, or somebody looking at your website, for instance, and then taking action. They have no clue what their website's doing. And so one thing you can do is you can go into your Google Analytics and just look at how many visitors you have. If you're smarter, you can maybe look by like unique visitors. It's one of the first things you see when you go into Google Analytics. If you have Google Analytics up, you can throw in that. So in this scenario, just this default template, let's say you have 500 visitors a month to your website, and you're guessing that you have 10 leads coming in a month. Well, that would put your conversion rate at 2%. So 2% of the human beings that come to your website actually take action, right? All right, and you can of course play with this and say, maybe I get 20 leads. What am I at? I'm at 4%. Just so you know, 2% is about average for most businesses, especially like that business that's very sterile that we just looked at. And then now that you can kind of take that information to this more intense calculator, okay? This more intense calculator, you put in what your conversion rate is. We'll just leave it at 2%. You put at your buy rate, meaning somebody contacts you, how many of those people are actually going to buy versus contact you. So a lot of business owners are very optimistic and say, 1 in 3 or 50%, and if they actually run their numbers, it's not true. It's maybe 20% or 25%, right? And so I'll just leave it at 33% because that's where most business owners think they're at. And then let's just say an average carpet cleaning comes in at $200. Obviously there can be more, there's less. We're going for average. And then let's say I have a goal of making $5,000 from whatever marketing I'm doing, right? That's driving people to my website, getting them to take action. So hopefully that's not too complicated. This all translates into very simple information. So if I have a goal of making $5,000, maybe in a month, let's just say in a month, then I'm going to need 25 leads in this scenario. 25 people to basically fill out the form or call me or contact me as a result of my website. 25 sales. Number of leads, we're going to need 76. Sorry. Pardon me. That's why I have this calculator, so I don't miss anything. So that's a lot. That's a lot of people to contact us and only translate into 25 sales. So we'll crunch these numbers under a different scenario here in a second, and hopefully it will help you visualize how much that conversion rate and your sales rate really translates into sales. So under that scenario, we would actually need almost 4,000 visitors to our website a month. And if you go look at our earlier calculator, we were saying maybe we're getting, 500 visits a month, right? So let's play with this. So if I want to make this a reasonable number where I'm not just going on Facebook and blasting everybody to my website, and doing that month after month, but I want to get this to a more reasonable number because Eau Claire, I mean, if you do the math, you're going to run out of people in like a year that have finally seen your ads, right? So let's get it down to a reasonable amount, maybe 1,000 visitors a month, or maybe under that is more possible through all your search engine optimization, getting reviews, Google ads, and social media ads. All things considered, maybe 1,000 is reasonable. So what can move that needle, right? So if we start actually getting a website that's not so sterile, and we can convince 11 or 10% of those people to actually contact us at your same sales rate of 33, now it's under 1,000. So 760 people you have to get a month to your website. That's reasonable, right? Okay. Let's put it back at 2%, right? And let's just say, your marketing's terrible, right? And your website's terrible, but your salesmen are exceptional. So we're going to put you up at 50%. Oh, well, that's still going to be almost 2,500 people you're going to need to hit that goal. Okay, that's a lot. It's probably not going to happen, right? So that's why I keep going back to the website. Well, let's leave it at 50% and let's just get a 6%, or so. Okay, now I only need 833 people. So if you keep playing with this, I've had it where essentially 20% of the people, 25, even 30%. Let's do just 20 and see what happens. Of the people that visit the website actually take action, okay? Now we only need, in this scenario, with 50% close rate, we only need 250 visitors. So let's bring that back down to a more reasonable 33% because not all leads are created equal, right? Oh, now we need just under 400 people to hit that goal. So I hope this calculator helps you kind of see this is what you need to understand. What does the marketing need to deliver and the website as an extension of that, and what do my salesmen need to deliver an extension? Of course, you can play with your average sale, and if your average sale is only $100, it's going to take a lot more sales to get there. So obviously, those are three huge things you can play with, and you can of course set your sales goals to anything you want, but then it becomes unreasonable as far as how much traffic you have to drive to your website or people you have to get in the door. So it's much more efficient to have a better converting website, better salesmen, and a higher average sale by always upselling when people get there. I'm not saying terrible things like everything else costs extra. I'm saying like you went there to clean the bathroom or the carpet, and then you offer to clean more rooms, or you have maybe one or two small upsells like, hey, I see you have a pet. Would you like the additional pet stain guard, right? So if they go potty, it stays on the top of the carpet a little bit longer, right? And helps trap those bad smells. Obviously, I'm somewhat newer to the carpet cleaning industry, but I am learning quite a bit, right? So let's go back to some other websites. So here's another one. Here's a website that I found that I think does an excellent job of hitting a lot of those conversion rate checklist items, right? So if we go back here, it's madeToMatch.com. The first thing you see is getting a quote. Once you play with this, I actually realized, hey, I can't see the final price. I have no clue what the final price is. Now, they have multiple problems here because they have multiple service locations, so of course the price is going to be different. But if you go to those individual locations, I can't remember if they even have this pricing tool. Yeah, they do. So why do I have to, basically give my email to see the price? I understand having some sort of like lead generation thing, or if I'm doing bathroom remodeling, I might offer something like, the 10 things you need to ask a remodeler before you buy, or, something else. That makes sense. Give an email. But for pricing, really, your pricing's going to be pretty straightforward. There's only so many things that are going to affect it. And on this list, pricing is at least towards the top. That's the number one thing they're going to ask. After, are you in my location, where that sterile website doesn't really talk much about Eau Claire. I mean, one little spot, you can almost miss it right there, right? And it looks like they're probably running their Google ads and everything all back to this one page, even if you're north of Eau Claire or south, or, you know what I mean? Like, they don't change anything per se. So that's not ideal, because the customer wants to know, are you in my location? They want to know the price. But they do have this tool, which I think is awesome. If they just didn't require that you give the email to view the price, then I think that would work really great. They do highlight their reviews real quickly up here. This is not dynamic, right? And you can't click them to go read the reviews, so that is definitely a mistake, right? They do talk about the steps or the process, right? And then, it looks clean and nice, right? So they have some wins and they have some losses in here, in my opinion. They do, for this location, now that I'm in, looking at Dallas or whatnot, they do have a map at the bottom that shows their service area and shows their reviews. So that's definitely a plus, right? But they don't have, if they do more than carpet cleaning, or they do more than just cleaning your house, they don't have like a page for Houston carpet cleaning, a page for Houston window cleaning. They don't have that split out, okay? And so that is a huge mistake, search engine optimization wise, and also conversion rate wise. Just simple things like mentioning where you service, right there at the very top, mentioning, where you do the work, that helps turn more people into contacting you. So here's an example of an ugly website. In my opinion, it's not as pretty, okay? It's not ugly, it's just not as pretty. But it does the job really great, because there's a form to fill out to get a free quote right there, even though the pricing, there isn't in there. But if you want the pricing to be answered, in this case, there is a first-time offer. So I write this in my book, Fix Marketer, but essentially by adding this offer and adding a little bit of where we actually do the work. This is their generic page, but when we do Google Ads, we send them to a page that says the city. It says carpet cleaning, right? And then they have this right up here at the top for a special. And that alone has gotten 25% conversion rate. So if we went back to our tool, played around with the numbers, it finally reduced the cost per lead to a manageable amount, and then also increased revenue, right? Because they're getting more leads and more jobs. So we could definitely go back to the search results. We could definitely look at more of these sites. I have not actually, this is going to be a surprise. I haven't looked at this website yet. Okay. I do want to look at a couple more websites with you in the Eau Claire area. allservecarpetcleaning.com. Okay, horrible name, horrible looking website. In Chrome, you can right click and hit inspect, and then it gives you this little, it's very hard to see, but basically a toggle switch for device. Okay, and so what you can do is you can have it show you what it would look like on different devices. So this is the iPhone 6, 7, and 8. And the website is horrible. You can hardly see it. There's no click to call button. You click this, it doesn't actually click to call. Okay. Even this somewhat, beauty challenge website that converts really well. That's why I don't judge a website by how it looks. It's got a click to call button. You see that? Clicked it, popped right up, click to call. So on mobile, that's super important. On the first frame of the screen on mobile, you can still see their phone number, see that they have emergency service, and see their special pricing. So, and then when you scroll down, there's the contact form, and at least Google reviews, you can see that they have 5 stars, and you can click and go read that if you want. Okay. And then they have some reasons why you should go with them over their competitors right there to really help people see that. Okay. So if I close this out again, it will go back to a normal size. So that website was horrible that we just looked at a second ago. All right. I know I did look at another one, this one that had 44 reviews, and I was wondering why is it not ranking higher? They have a bunch of reviews. This is Mag Cleaning. Okay. When we go look at this website makes another classic mistake that I see in most industries. So there's a company out there that either specializes in helping carpet cleaners or cleaners in general, or they're a digital marketing company that focuses on just carpet cleaners. And so they have all these pre-done beautiful template pictures, pre-done website. They just swap out some colors. They make you a logo. They do all that, and that looks super great. But you can see, okay, where's the city that the work is being done in? Okay, where's the pricing? Okay, there's no pricing. Okay, where are the review? Oh, there's no reviews. They might have testimonials somewhere else on the website, but most people discard that, right? They know that you're gonna go with the best ones that have ever been sent in, and you're not sending anything that's bad. Okay, they do some things right. Obviously, like if I actually viewed this on a mobile device, it conforms to the mobile. It's responsive. That's great. It's probably got click to call. It's got some things going for it. But if you go down this entire list, they're missing some of the most important factors. Of course, there's X factors that I always mention in the book, like how do you take it to the next level? An explainer video or video testimonials or frequently asked questions, like in this website. If we go look at carpet cleaning and we scroll down, there should be some frequently asked questions that are answered, like can my carpets be cleaned in the winter? That's very important. I'm sure in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, that would also be an important question to answer. There's a satisfaction guarantee, even though it's kind of a lame one in my opinion, but it's still there. It still exists. Let's just say we wanted to understand a little bit more about an individual website, this Mag Cleaning or whatever. There's a lot of great tools out there, from SpyFu to understand Google ads that are being run, what are their most longest running ads, to this tool which is called builtwith.com, and it's definitely run by a company that understands search engine and Google ads and marketing. They're just not taking it to the next level because probably they just have to spit these websites out for multiple clients. They don't take the TLC it needs to increase the conversion rate. But Crazy Egg, I should explain. Builtwith.com shows you all the tools that the website can see that company built their website with. And I haven't even done this yet, so I didn't know what we'd see. But I know Crazy Egg is a software to help people understand, what's going on the website, how are they using it, and it's expensive. Okay, so most small businesses aren't going to be able to do that. So that's how I know they're probably sharing it. There's a bunch of mumbo jumbo on here that you're not going to understand as well. But I like to search for Facebook. Okay, they're doing some Facebook retargeting or marketing. Okay, that's important in the one-page marketing plan. If you can get that 1,000 visitors a month or so, Facebook will let you re-advertise that people came to your website, hadn't taken action yet. So you can get back some of those people that you may have lost, stay top of mind, offer them a better promotion, whatever it takes to get them to contact you because you've already paid to bring them there. Might as well get them to close the deal. Okay. I should mention most websites, 1 in 4 or so, companies like this builtwith.com actually will let you click when you find somebody that has their website built in WordPress. You can click to it and it will say, hey, here's how many websites have it. Here's the other, site builders. Here's the other tools. It's kind of really cool, honestly. I'm geeking out about it a bit. But essentially, it helped me confirm all the stats that I can find out there. 1 in 4 businesses' websites, I'm sure even more so for local businesses, are built with WordPress. Okay, there's some others like Square's now offering through Weebly their connection. There's Wix. There's so many. Okay, out there, but I recommend WordPress for multiple reasons. It's open source. It allows me to get all these marketing tools built in there quickly and easily. And 1 in 4 businesses, and that is the #1 website building platform in the world, is WordPress, because all the other ones have a lot less than 1/4 of the market. Okay, so it is #1. I've talked a lot, but I hope that was very insightful for you. This is how I go, and I look at what the search results are. I look at are they hitting some of those really important social factors like reviews? Are they doing any of the X factors on the website? And I formulate a plan, and I can take it even somewhat not great looking website and make it perform. And so I want you to know everything I've showed you today. You can either get through buying the book and then joining, or going to fixedmarketer.com/bonus and joining just by subscribing. You can get access to all these great tools. You can get access to all of it in one spot. If you would like your website or a specific website or industry looked at for a potential future episode, then feel free to just sign up through the email and then email me. Or I've got this handy dandy Facebook live chat that you can just chat me in there. That's another way you can subscribe, get access by just doing a quick Facebook chat right there on the website, fixedmarketer.com/bonus. And then if you want to ask me anything or say, hey, can have me on the show, you can totally do that.